Oh my God, Z. Oh, yeah, he's from Hinsdale. He did go to Yale. Good for him.
It's
But
another
like, I don't know.
project from Poles. Awesome. Another great third round pick.
Okay, like
Keep
this is what
loving on
teams-
Poles.
No, this is
Start
what
the
good
shit.
teams do.
It's already started. Hold on. We gotta.
This is what good teams do. We'll get to it later, I'm pretty sure, but the Ravens and the 49ers, dude, like they pick up linemen in the fourth, fifth, sixth round. That like, if you've seen, Ravens usually don't play for linemen; they let them go after like the 10 million ish range, and they just like have someone in the waiting. Like the beginning of the season this year, it takes them a couple of games. Like
Well, they
pick
also have
someone.
you're also talking about teams with established head coaches and established identities.
That was my whole point. I was saying I'm not Paul's apologist. Get rid of him if he's bad, but like I feel like we need to stick with someone at some point if we want to have a stable, good regime for like sustained
I mean,
success.
that's great, but do you really want a bad regime? It's just like
I know he's not hit on everything, but he's
most things at this point. We're getting to the part that it's most.
I don't know. We argued back and forth. I don't know if I changed him. I gave you some pointers, but I don't know. Like there's enough positives. Like the Caleb trade alone, dude, shooting with some Brent.
Okay, we can't. I was hanging my hat on that for so long, and then look at where we're at right now. Are we started yet?
Yeah, it's
We're
live.
on YouTube. We're on YouTube. We're saying
on
hi.
YouTube. Yeah. All right.
Oh, the title of this episode is "How many days until the draft again?"
I laughed. I chuckled. I did chuckle.
That's too long for me to use.
You could put draft day ?
Yeah, draft day coming soon ?
I just put another day, another Bears loss on Primetime.
That's boring as fuck.
It's not a lie.
I mean, compared to the other Monday night game, we were better, but not by much.
Were we?
I don't know. What was it?
Just because we scored more points.
15-9.
YouTube's suggestion for a title is Primetime Football Experts reveal the secret to staying positive despite losses. I'm like, that's a lie.
I like that.
That's chat GBT.
But like positive is in there. Fuck it. Let's do it. No, it was I don't know, like my biggest problem, Miller, and like this is probably
We'll get there.
We'll get there. We'll talk about it. All right, here we go. Mute your.
That's why I don't want. Shit. That's why there's no point to have a lot of fucking substance because it's just gonna be all bullshit.
All right, mute.
Oh, I can't even do this anymore. Welcome to the trio of negativity podcasts where the Bears are killing us, and we are probably done pretending that it's gonna get better. We appreciate you joining us today. Share our misery here. I think it was just the three of us. We would just keep shouting at each other, so we are sharing it with you when we also shout at each other. So
I was gonna say we still do.
Welcome to the show. My friends are here. We're going to talk about the sad, sad state of the Bears. I'm your co-host, Poopen, joined by the Negative Brigade today. Mike, Chris, boys, please tell me something good.
I feel like you're lying because out of all of us, I've been the most positive of the three. And I feel like I can continue to be positive because
positive as a Pittsburgh Steelers fan.
Hang on. Let's look
winners
at the
win, shooter
score.
shoot. You know,
Chris, I think you had 0 last week, if I remember correctly.
Right, but see, here's the thing: my heart is already in the shitter, so it can't get worse, is what I'm saying. So, #winning
doesn't make any sense.
Listen, you can't be sad if you're already dead.
That actually makes sense.
All right.
Idiot.
So, I mean, hey.
Oh my God, you guys are something else. But yeah, welcome to the show, people. We're gonna react to Week 15. We're gonna talk about the Bears loss. We're probably gonna upcoming Bears loss for next week already.
Jesus,
we're gonna preview that as well.
See, I'm more positive than that. It took like this. Boobin's already officially broken, is what it
I
sounds
know
like.
the name of this episode is how many days till the draft. That's where I am, boys. But we gotta start here contractually. This is what we're obligated to do, boys. Something about week 15.
You know
Let's
what's
talk
funny though,
about something
Boobin?
good. What's up,
Imagine
bud?
if we were sponsored and they're like, "Listen, we love your positivity," and then we show up starting like this, like the trio of negativity.
Yeah, the one sponsor that might have happened 10 years from now is not gonna sponsor us. Whoa. But
Just like imagine it's like, well, guys, it's been another negative week, but we got something that'll get you up, Blue Chew.
Oh my God, we're back to this shit. I was almost gonna shout that out, being like, we're not gonna go down this road again. My God,
mean,
I think at this point it's assumed that Chris has a fucking closet full of Blue Chew just ready to go.
I'm ready.
he's secretly sponsored by them.
I'm,
He doesn't tell
I'm
us.
not even sponsored. I'm just the
Just a fan.
what do you call those people that watch episodes like as soon as it comes out? Like
You're a Blue Chew groupie, is what you
I'm
are.
a go-getter. That's what I am.
You're a stan. Got it.
I always know where North is, brother.
What was I even thinking? I usually
Reactions to
comment.
week 15.
Yeah. Let's think beyond the Bears and anything stand out to you NFL wise. If you guys have something to think on, I can get us started.
Yeah, I'll start because it affects my fantasy football too. David Montgomery is out for the season. That was so painful. What's even worse is people that had spent money on him. Apparently, his prop for total yardage was 775.5, and he's out for the season, and he's ended at 775.
I saw that.
Fucking
I
way.
saw that. Yeah.
That is so fucked up. No, but like my fantasy team, talking Chris, like had stayed somewhat. I traded people that ended up getting hurt in other people's team. Godwin, I traded, got hurt. Chubb, I traded, got hurt. And I had like stayed like injury free all season, but I think it's catching up. I have Dobbins and now Montgomery out. But hey, we're gonna bring one home for the champ. You know, Chris, you and I, we're gonna bring one home for Monty. Okay.
I don't know. I mean, we'll
Good
talk
luck,
about it
guys.
during the fantasy because I have a lot of questions. It's not looking good, boys. It's not looking good.
It was a lot of it was a tough week in fantasy. I think we'll get that in a minute. Miller, you got a fun topic.
Josh Allen, my ass still hurts from getting fucked by him this weekend.
Can you cut that? That's the socials right there.
And we're back on Blue Chew, baby.
Trust me, he was using it this weekend. Woo! It was not fun.
Someone posted that he just got engaged like 3 weeks ago or 2 weeks ago, and since then he's had like 10 touchdowns and no interceptions and I don't know 80,000 yards. And someone was just like, "Damn, like what happened?" Like,
I will say I am glad he's having these performances. Granted, not for fantasy, given where we're at, but it's very nice to see that we have like a 5-person, like a 5-way for the MVP. I think at max, like 5. What do you mean?
yeah.
It's a 5-way. Who do you have, Miller? What do you mean just one? It's still.
I mean, there's a couple other names you can throw
There's
in
names out there you can throw in to have a final 5. What do you mean?
Congratulations. There was 3 other people that you can have for Heisman too, but realistically, only one should have won it.
Oh.
And he did.
He did? Oh wow. I did not know that you were gonna go there. I think the running back was like pretty close.
Yeah, I agree. He was great. He had probably statistically the best running back season in history. But when you lead
it's a
the
Shohei
league.
Ohtani. Okay, it's the Shohei Ohtani.
It's the Shohei Ohtani argument.
yeah,
When you
okay.
lead, when you're a
See,
top
don't
10
start
wide
with that.
receiver
No.
and a top 10 defensive back, you win. I'm sorry.
Listen, the Oregon Duck was on Pat McAfee, and he said snaps is not a Heisman stat. Like how many snaps you played on each side.
What does
It's
it
not-
matter?
Just
He wasn't just out there being nobody. He was literally
I
a top
agree.
10 defensive
agree.
back
I
and a
agree
top
with
10 wide receiver in the country.
Okay.
But
So-
I don't know. The running back, I forgot his name already, but the running back was a good, like,
I
you could've
agree. He would have
easily-
probably won any other year.
yeah. I thought he was. I knew because of the name recognition he was gonna be up top, but as a running back, I was hoping secretly running back.
Wow, this has totally made a turn, but we can talk about college. But I just don't understand the hate that Travis Hunter is getting.
I don't get
He's
it
like,
either. Yeah.
He's like getting straight up hate. Like most, like the Oregon guy coming out talking shit about him. Like, dude, man, come on. I get that snaps isn't a fucking argument, but it is.
I think
He
you
plays
said it.
every single fucking game play in the game.
Miller, you said it. Like the running back literally is having a year for the ages,
Mhm.
and then like he's average at wide receiver and average at cornerback. I think right.
No, he's not average. That's the thing. He's
No.
not. He's elite in both of them.
I don't know.
You got to remember
what I
in
looked at
the
was like
CFP rankings, Boopin, there's usually like over 100 schools, like typically.
Like
So
they
you
were
have to use
comparing
that.
his defensive back stats to Charles Woodson's Heisman
Yeah,
campaign.
I saw that.
Like he was very good on both sides.
They were
But-
sorry to cut you off, but they were also saying like if he decided to play one side of the ball only, like this, he would have gone away with it because he would have just concentrated on one, which I have to agree with that.
I don't agree with that.
But speaking of football, the playoffs starts on Friday night. So
oh wait, college.
yeah, college playoffs is it's gonna be exciting to see all these games. I'm actually intrigued to watch it. So it's probably gonna be the last
whole month, right? It's a whole month of games.
It's a whole month, and then what's gonna be more exciting?
Is it a whole month? It goes
Essentially,
until
yeah.
middle of January.
January 13th or January 20th, I think, one or the other.
Wow.
What I am excited though is that given how the teams were stacked, I wouldn't be surprised that if in 2 years it's a 16-team playoff and division winners get home field advantage on first round. So it's gonna be fun. Hey, it means money. So
Not to you, not to me.
well,
Only means money to 16 people.
I mean, and a lot more NIL, but okay. No, fun discussions, boys. Thanks for bringing that. Good talk there. I wanted to look at two NFC divisions that are like undecided yet, and wanted to see if we could pick a winner. Okay.
all right.
NFC South, we have the Rams and the Seahawks up top at 8-7. Arizona is right there at 7-7, and Niners are on the outside looking in at 6-8. Do you guys have a pick yet between Rams?
Be the Rams.
Yeah.
Do you have the schedules up? I thought Arizona had a better.
Arizona does have. I think they play Carolina this week, and I'm gonna pull up the schedules as you guys are talking about.
Yeah,
this.
I think Arizona could sneak out with a W. I think
Okay.
they could take it.
I mean, Rams are definitely like the pick. I think to make.
Yeah, I know
like,
Rams are playing Jets at Jets, and then I forget what the other one is.
like Rams. Like I don't know. They beat the Bills, right? They beat the 49ers, right? Like 2 games back to back. Like strong houses. Like they've been coming on strong. They've been healthier. Freaking Cooper Cup scores 0 points and they still win. So there's something good going on there. But Seattle, I think, is like their defense has which was their identity of the team, has like stepped up. I think Geno injury hurts them a lot. But
I agree.
Yeah, I think like Arizona, I would love to see them, but Kyler and
They're
Marvin
so hit or
Harrison,
miss. They're so up and down.
not on the same page. It's hard to predict that. The other one, which is probably simpler. I don't know if you guys heard the breaking news, but NFC West, Tampa is at 8-8. Sorry, 8-6.
You realize that you flipped these, right?
Did I? Oh crap.
Yeah.
Okay. South is Tampa is at 8-6 and Falcons at 7-7. The breaking news is Falcons are benching Kirk Cousins for Michael Penix.
Michael Penix.
That's hilarious.
I-
Blooper reel.
I like the fantasy footballers I listened to do this bit and I got caught up in it. They keep saying his name weird. It's right close to saying the word, so like that's what I just did. Anyway, Tampa's in the driving seats. Does Michael have enough rookie power to like bring Falcons back and be competitive the rest of the way?
I'm gonna go Tampa.
Tampa.
That's
I agree.
probably the easiest of the two. I think I could go Rams or Cardinals on the other division, but this one I think Tampa. Baker's playing.
Gotta take that quarterback that you can trust.
Yeah,
Also, like
Even though I haven't trusted Baker all year.
you haven't,
know,
and
I
Baker's
know.
been
and
outperforming
the running
a lot
running
of
back
people.
and running back, Chris will tell you they've been carrying some teams to the championship. I think.
Mhm.
No, Tampa got something good there, but I think like there's something missing in Tampa. They look so close. even with Mike Evans back, like that seems something is just like they're like
Something's
they,
missing from a 37-13 destruction on the road against the Chargers.
I don't know. Like that game was closer than that most of the game. That they ran away with it, I agree, but that game was not 37-13 most of the way. But anyway,
I just
I,
think it's more of a name thing. It's not sexy to say that the Bucks are like there.
But
mean,
then I'm not gonna bet on a rookie.
that's true too. If it were Kirk Cousins, it'd probably be more interesting. Fair.
But it's probably a good move for the Falcons. They have nothing to lose.
Yeah, and like
Well, they
I
have a
don't know.
division to lose, but
No, but
like,
realistically,
Jesus
they
Christ,
weren't.
have you seen Cousins play? He literally doesn't move in the pocket.
he never has.
He's
Well,
never,
that's not true. That's not true.
No,
He at
but-
least had some. He did like I think post ACL. He's not literally. There's stats online how
Oh.
much he doesn't move in the pocket. Like he's literally a statue out there.
I'll be honest. And I know the stats probably won't support this, but from looking at it, he's looked the same that I saw in what I remember with the Vikings, but he's just not getting the stats behind it. I don't see anything different with him.
He's God. Like he had that killer instinct, dude. Like he would like be competitive. Like bring him back. None of that. Like
Yeah, but the man's made so much money. He's probably at the point where it's like, you know what? I've done good. You know,
I don't know. Rogers
I've done good.
lately has been turning it around,
Stupid
but
ass fucking shit.
post 40 ACL quarterback coming out from ACL as
Miller, how much did Cousins sign for again?
180 million.
I'll blow out both my ACLs for that. I don't care.
He's not getting 180 million though.
Is it all
what isn't
guaranteed?
it like 80
That's
guaranteed?
not guaranteed. Yeah,
It's like 80.
I think he got like 70, 65 million this year, and I think they're on the hook for like another like 30 or something.
Okay,
So-
half of guaranteed. All right.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, the Falcons have nothing to lose. If they win the division, it'll be a great surprise. But
I mean, Falcons, like, I don't know, with the setup they have.
Okay, enough about the fucking Falcons.
I know, but like, okay,
This
look at
shit.
this setup, right? They have a Mooney.
Don't
and
say fucking Kyle Pitts.
I won't. Can you fucking let me go? They have Bijan Robinson, Drake London, Darnell Mooney, the tight end they have that I'll not name.
We've been talking about fucking Kyle Pitts for like 3 years, and he's done
I know. But, like,
nothing.
I was thinking with Penix there, last thing I would say is like very similar setup to Chicago. That's what I wanted to say.
yeah, and that's gone great too.
Yeah, because our running back is totally on par with Bijan Robinson.
Well, it's like give or take. I don't know. Fuck.
Mhm.
All right.
Well, that's a great transition. What happened with the Bears this last week, Poopin?
Oh my god, guys. It was a tale of two teams headed very different ways. Vikings win their 7th straight. They are on top of the NFC North at 12-2, tied with the Lions. And Bears lost their 9th straight game. And we are barreling towards a top 10 pick with a score of
No, we're
32.
barreling towards a top 5 pick.
Top 5 pick. Chris,
I don't think we can get 5.
No,
I
There's
thought-
No,
too many
I
teams.
think there is a shot.
No, there's
No.
too
There's
many
an
teams that
outside
lost.
shot. Ben did the math. There is an outside shot, but they're basically pretty much clinched the top 10 pick. They're already like at 9th.
They're at 9th or 8th, I saw, yeah.
Okay. Lot to dissect on the team. Some good.
Some
mostly
good.
bad.
Do we watch different games?
No. We got to
So
be
fucking
balanced.
good.
Okay, let's
We
start with the
don't.
bad because that's who we are.
We don't have to be balanced.
Let's see. This was a third consecutive game when we were scoreless in the first half, and we were.
The old Boopin's right. There was a good. We got a first down on the second drive of the game. Look at that. We actually got a first down.
We have been outscored 53-0 in the last 3 games in the first half. That's one bad thing I have. I have a couple more, unless you guys have some.
Was
Pointers
there,
about
did
this?
we score points in the first half? Was that your good? Oh wait, we didn't.
We've been outscored 53-0 in the last 3 games in the first half. Thank you. Let's see. Bears converted just 1 of 12 third downs and 1 of 3 fourth downs. So
But our third down defense was really good, right?
no,
No, it
horrible.
wasn't.
So close, but so far. We would like do
It was
decently.
so funny to watch that fucking graphic come up every time. We were 1 for 12, and they were like 50-50, and
Yeah,
their average third yard was like 10 yards.
Yeah, like
It
that.
was
That was
stupid.
that hurt. That hurt so much. We would do well, get pressure, tackle for loss, 3rd and 10, 3rd and 9, 3rd and 11, 3rd and 12, whatever. They would just fucking pick it up and
Every
just
time.
But that's been
every time.
happening. Can we agree? That's been happening multiple games. Like, why are we surprised? There have been times where we
I feel
feel
like
like
it's
the
happened
Bears
all
should've-
year.
Yeah, like we've shown up for such great plays. I remember I forget it was a home game and I can't remember who it was. We needed a stop on the drive. It was 3rd and 9, first down.
I think it was
Was it
Vikings
Vikings?
last time. Yeah, it
Yeah.
was the
So like
overtime game. Yeah.
we get them,
Well-
they convert. We get them,
Yep.
they convert, and then everyone's like, "Oh, oh yeah, it was with the Vikings." 'Cause that's when everyone's like, "Oh, Eberflus lost a team or something like that." Like that was
Yep.
the rumblings of it before we went to Detroit. But I feel like this has just been happening every game. So it's like, why are we surprised?
We're bend don't break defense, but now we broke.
We're
a
broken.
lot. Yeah.
I mean, yes, we did a lot. Like another thing I freaking hated was, I think it was like, first off, a touchdown or overturned by a penalty. That's fucking Doug Kramer. If we don't cut him, goddamn, I'll be pissed. That's why Velas Jones Miller. Okay.
We're talking about the
No.
fullback. We're talking about the
Okay.
fullback.
The
Okay.
fullback.
Okay.
Okay.
Really? You're gonna place it all on the player?
No. Hang on. Look, I have a point.
Well,
I was saying,
But no. On that point,
that was unforgivable. Is what I was saying.
if Chris Morgan is not fucking gone, like now, I just don't understand how this guy just keeps dodging all of the blame and everything when this offensive line has been trashed since he got here. I understand that he has a good reputation, but what the fuck? Like,
Okay.
that's a coach where you have to say, because this is a lineman at the end of the day. How many times do they need to declare? Yes, it's on Kramer. I'm not absolving him, but the coach should be reminding him, hey, don't forget to check in when he's going on the field to be a fucking
You say that,
fullback.
Miller, but this team is about accountability. Okay, he came out and they asked him, "It's like, so what happened in that play?" He goes, literally, quote, "I forgot." Like that's accountability. If you don't, if like it's literally accountability.
That's what I'm saying. But you know what happens if the coach says to him, "Don't forget to check in." He's not going to forget.
Oh, it's almost like the special teams coach also talking to the head coach kind of thing, right? Like that kind of.
No.
God
Players-
forbid
yeah,
that
to get
and-
on the right hash.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's
but
the thing. Like, if you have communication on the sideline with your players and you actually understand scenarios, you can tell them simple things like, "Hey, just a reminder to check in."
and
to a guy
prepare.
that's never does it.
And prepare, right? They run this play during the week to run it during the game. They must have told him. Hopefully,
So,
they told him.
question:
This team is consistent though. He probably forgot to check in during
During
practice too.
was this his first time doing this? Because it used to
No.
be. I thought it was 79.
He was the guy that fumbled at the fullback give. What game was that? Was that the Lions game?
I know, but I
Remember?
thought he was the one doing Matt Pryor. Is that right?
No, I think this is the guy, Doug Kramer. Matt Pryor was just a lineman. I think Doug Kramer was the guy last time. He
But see,
fumbled
there's
the
a-
ball, and this
There's
time
a difference.
he
I
didn't
think if it was a run play in the way that it was designed, the fullback did not have to declare when that handoff was given to him.
Right.
So that's irrelevant. This one, I think, because there was
Because he wasn't.
there was some
I don't
something in the
think
play.
that's true.
There's
I don't
something in
think
the
that's
play,
true.
the way that it was lined up.
No, I
because
think
they have to-
I don't think that's true.
I looks like it was a genuine mistake, but that's how it started. And
But then it's like you look
and
at this situation and it's just like, so we had 2 4th-and-1s earlier in the game and they don't bring him in to block. Like, what the fuck? You're relying on Swift, who basically falls down whenever he's touched, and you're not going to bring in your
Swift had
lineman?
an okay game. Take it
Not
back.
at the beginning. I supported that, but not at the beginning.
He was fighting. He was not 100%. He was fighting for like how bad our running game has been. It was Kramer the whole year, is what Ben said. Anyway, my point was we had that stupid penalty that took the touchdown away. Then we had another penalty on our new left tackle. Number 3rd round pick. whatever.
Kieran something.
Oh, we're starting on that already. Jesus.
And like we ended up kicking a field goal, and those are the things that like that's the one I don't want to see. I want to see us punch it in, not make dumb mistakes, not hurt ourselves, and that didn't happen.
That series, I think we've seen before. So that's why, like, you talk about it a certain way, And yeah, you could say that series turned the game because it went from having 7
Did.
points to going to 3.
It would have been
and
7-13, I think.
yeah.
And I
And it was
think
a
the
crucial
following
drive. Yeah,
series, I
yeah.
think they didn't score, so Bears could have had a chance to do something. Here's my take on a lot of this, and it goes back to the lame duck coach scenario. The Bears have nothing to play for. They literally they've been eliminated. They are at the bottom of a division where the 3 teams are just top tier right now.
But see,
Hold on. We talked about this before. It's on the players. Everything that the players do on the field, it's on the players. They literally have nothing but their contracts and the ability to show off that they need to stay for the following year.
that's literally everything.
But
So you sit here and say they have nothing to play
have
for,
nothing, though.
and there's a few players like Caleb, like Komet, Johnson, Jalen Johnson, DJ Moore, all these guys that have contracts, they have nothing to play for. But realistically, that's probably 10 out of 53 players that have nothing to play for. Everybody else has everything to play for. So they're going all out because they have to prove their worth.
And
You're playing
even in
for a
scenario-
contract.
Also, it's a pride thing. I feel like
It's
some
not a
players,
pride thing. The players have basically gotten 2 coaches fired, and we're still seeing the same shit. Like that's where I'm at.
I get the defense was like mostly embarrassing the first half, but I would like to think they played probably their toughest game, their hardest they've played in the last couple of games.
False.
I feel like
Fuck are you watching?
Yeah, false.
Like,
I love you,
second
Boopin.
half?
I love you. No,
they
you
had
can't
2
compare halves.
sacks. No,
Boopin, you
they had
can't
2
compare halves though. Like that's
no,
that's the
I'm
one
saying
thing.
like second half is what I'm talking about. But the entire game, they had 2 sacks, they had an interception, 8 quarterback pressures. Like
They had 2 sacks. Well, that was the biggest surprise for me. I didn't realize we were so high in pressure rate. We just don't get sacks. But we get 2 sacks, and this is the hardest we've played.
Wait. Hang on. Minnesota got 2 sacks on us. Okay, so like
2 sack fumbles.
one fumble and 2 sacks. Like by comparison, we're saying it's one of the best.
I feel like Miller and I swapped places for this episode.
I'm
But
not
like
saying they had the best game.
you're giving them props for an interception that was literally 4th and 4, which was a dumb coach call where Darnold just threw it up. Like it wasn't like it was a good interception, a well-ran defense. It was all luck.
I mean, it was an interception.
Realistically, it was a bad interception because we lost yards because he caught that ball.
Okay.
Can I ask you this though, Boopin? Because I feel like you of over the years, over multiple episodes that we've done this, you have been more of the positive when it comes to this team. Like, can you really sit here and say that what we've shown has been the best output that we've seen, like from a second half perspective? Because this is like the 4th week in a row where you've said that the Bears have been a really good like second half team. And it's
the stats say this. I'm saying this game in particular.
It's kind of factual.
Yeah, but it doesn't look the same when you're
realistically, Chris. If the offense duplicated their second half to the first half, we'd be putting up like 26 points a game.
I agree with that.
So I mean, it's technically right.
So that's what I'm trying to say. I'm not trying to give them being like a scot-free, like fucking go run the world. I'm saying like I don't know. So something is there. It could be Caleb, could be the team fighting. Who the fuck knows? This game, like, yes, defense did, like we talked about how horrible they were on 3rd and 4th down, but like I feel like they were fighting a tiny bit more than they did last couple of games. That's all I'm trying to say.
I don't think so.
I didn't get that. They still suck.
Running
Sweat's a joke.
You know what it is? I used to remember when watching teams on Primetime. This is not a Bears related thing, but it's always like in Primetime you either see how good a team is or how bad a team is. Yeah. I mean, like everyone's watching the game. Like everyone.
Okay, I get that, but you realize that like 4 of the last 7 wins have been on primetime.
But you do realize that of those wins, they weren't definitive.
Yeah, the New England one was very definitive.
Oh, right, because New England. Like, come on. Like, you can't go there either.
Listen, so I literally give you A counter argument to your point, and then you shoot it down.
But no, you're giving me a counter argument in which we don't really look at New England as like we beat New England boys. Like, hi-yo.
Do you not remember how big that game was for us?
Wait, what New England game are you talking about?
I think it was the first year of Eberflus when we walked into
oh my God,
New
you're
England
years back. Good fucking Lord. I was talking
2
about
years ago. It was
like
the
I'm
same
talking
coach.
about this. I was talking about this year how like from a football perspective.
Fucking primetime games.
Yeah, but of the primetime games that have been shown on TV, you either see how good a team is or how bad a team is. Like,
okay, finish your point. Finish your point.
My point is that, well, you derailed me a bit because I didn't think you're talking like from the first year.
Okay.
But like, it just everything that I've seen in this primetime game, I've already seen.
Oh, so you're talking about this game only?
Yes.
Just this game, not all the other primetime games we played. Just
in
this
comparison,
game.
in comparison of like how we were excited or how we would want to, we think we can win or we think this team is on the up and up. Like this team performed exactly how I thought they would perform on primetime.
I thought they would get killed. I thought I was surprised they did.
We literally have multiple. You have the Jaguars game. Is it prime time?
No.
No.
The only game going on.
Audience.
Next
no.
There was one team playing.
Yep.
So everybody was watching it. It was still getting all the viewers. So one team. I mean,
you
you
don't
still
get
have
more viewers than Sunday night or Monday night. You can't compare, or even Thursday.
I bet you we got more viewers than Sunday afternoon.
It's not Sunday afternoon's not prime time.
I know. I'm just making a point.
Why
it
are we
got more than a
I'm
regular game.
specifically talking about prime time.
But you're talking about one game because the Bears have shown. So Thanksgiving doesn't count either, right?
Thanksgiving, we all knew that it was going to be a shit show or it was going to be a great performance.
And it was a great performance theoretically.
Which one was it?
It was a shit performance. I called that they were going to lose, like not this bad. Like they were going to get shit on.
They lost by 3.
You probably predicted 56 nothing. If I remember,
but it wasn't. Correctly. We weren't shit on. It was a good game. We covered.
We lost because of
covering.
stupid.
Oh, I hate that. I hate when fans do that.
What are you talking about? We were driving.
We did
to win
better
the game,
than expectations. That's not a metric you like to use.
No, because we still lose.
Oh my god. So we are
you
back
can't
to
use
you win
metrics.
the Super Bowl or it doesn't matter conversation. We are back to that conversation again.
Let's talk about Caleb.
Oh,
because this was probably one of his worst performances of the year. Yes, I have to say.
This is what I was going to bring up too earlier before we started. He was 8 of 31 for 191 yards.
He was not 8 of 31. 18 probably.
Yeah, I don't know where you're getting your numbers from.
Definitely wasn't 8 and 31.
Double check.
He's not throwing a fucking. I'm gonna double 33%
even that sounds wrong.
Okay, he threw a touchdown and
25 actually. That would be 25% completion rate.
That was ESPN, I think. Did I not copy that correctly?
Hold on.
No, it's probably 18.
18 out of 31.
Okay, I was off by 10. I'm sorry.
They didn't make a difference anyway, but yeah, go on.
He only had 3 completions over 15 yards. I know Miller wanted to focus on that. All the second half, while the Bears trailed by 2 or more scores. So even when we were down so much, he barely had any deep passes. Yeah, he was like 33 dropbacks, 5 hits, 2 sacks given. He seems exhausted. I don't know if I can use that as a metric, but he was just like slumping over on the bench after a couple.
Well, that was after he got destroyed by the offensive line. Well, not by the offensive line. Sorry, the defensive line destroyed him because there was that play that Chris is going to talk about because we already had this conversation where he was trying to pull a Caleb move and he threw pretty much a 50-50 ball and Keenan jumped hilariously early for being that type of player.
For Keenan's defense, they both jumped horribly.
No, the defensive back literally
the reason why
he was supposed to.
No, but the reason why the defensive player looks better is because he's in front of Keenan at that point. If I remember,
no, it was literally Keenan went up, came down, and then the defensive back went up, and he almost caught the ball. It was hilarious for the player that Keenan Allen is to be that bad on that play. Because it was a straight up 50-50 ball. And if Keenan played that right, he probably should have caught that ball. But Caleb ran around a lot and just got laid out by the defensive lineman. That's when he kind of went to the bench and he was looking all crazy. That is now firestorm the media, as Chris likes, because he's giving up.
Yeah, he was pressured 27% of the time. What do you guys got for him? What do you think of his play?
There was just a lot of moments where he didn't pull the trigger on the wide open receiver. The ones that come to mind is like the Roma Dunze one that he was right in the middle. Like he just hesitated, and you just can't hesitate. And it's just like, why are you hesitating? You can't sit here and tell me that he actually gives a shit about this interception record at this point. Like, I just can't see that. And it's just like, your team's 4-9, bro. Just start ripping the fucking ball. And then this goddamn play that is probably the beautifulest play that we can ever talk about on this fucking team that we've ran like 8 times to perfection, and he's 0 for 8. And the fucking wide receiver, I think it was Keenan Allen, running up along the left-hand side, has like 5 steps of the defensive back, and it's not even fucking close. I don't understand how he can't hit this fucking throw. It's so embarrassing.
I think that was my concerning part. Is like growth for Caleb is right. His accuracy, like him getting the ball in the right places and stuff like that. He looked off this game.
I want to follow up on that at the end of this Caleb moment. So we'll let Chris run his mouth, and then I want to talk about that a little bit more. Go ahead, Chris.
Are you guys ready for this? I feel like Boopin was ready to say something.
No, Chris. Let's see. We thought this was the worst game of his, of his career so far. So what do you got?
Besides week 1.
Well,
Jesus, I don't remember that. I think. Oh yeah,
Miller's all about records. This man was it took him a few games to get his first touchdown, and then he's got the interception, not throwing an interception record going down. I will say, watching the game, until I saw that play that we're talking about, the wide receivers are not helping Caleb. Like the amount of drops that I saw. The Odunze drop at the end zone, I think, is probably the most horrendous drop I think I've seen. Someone tried to explain that it was thrown too fast.
It did look
are you talking about the Keenan Allen one?
No, it was to Odunze in the middle.
Triple covered-ish.
Yeah. Was it in like the late 4th?
Yeah,
I can't remember.
I
think I might have been driving home at that point.
No, but Miller,
it was like a second or a third down play, and then like he ripped.
They were in the end zone. It was in the end zone. Like, brother, when I tell you Odunze was like this, and the ball just hits him here, and then it goes past, and then someone said it was too fast on Twitter, and I was gonna say, brother, what do you mean it's too fast?
It was the same thing the drive before with Keenan Allen. I don't know if you remember where they were talking about who was this ball supposed to be going to, and he threw it to Keenan, and it went right through Keenan's hands. It might have been going to Rome, but
the only reason I'm getting on the Rome one is because if you look at the play, it's a great play by Caleb. Like this play is not possible without Caleb. And Odunze is like spot on. He jumps for it, and the fact that it hits him like on his upper side, and like that's when I posted on the group chat, like whoever the next GM or the coach is going to be, find a new glove maker, because holy shit, they did not help him.
It's sad. It's like across the board too. It really is. I mean, you talk about that. You talk about the fucking penalties.
Yeah.
Like touching on Kieran Bougie, whatever his fucking name is, out of Yale. We can talk about Ryan Poles later, but like his horrible performance. And I get it. You don't want to start Larry Borum because you know who Larry Borum is. But if we're going to be allowing this, we're starting to talk about possible arm injuries from Caleb, from these guys just going around our left tackle. So I don't know if we need a help, and we didn't do that. It seemed like every time we didn't provide some sort of help to him, he got demolished. And it was just, he was getting destroyed with penalties.
Should we talk about how good Braxton Jones is now, or is that later?
Well, I'm still getting to the point of
how good do you want to talk about Braxton Jones? Do you think he's the future at left tackle? I mean, you can talk about the fact that it was a great pick based on that, the fact that he's an average left tackle, but I mean, is he your future? Do you really think he's played well enough to be the future? I don't know.
I think we don't need to draft one next year, at least.
I'm off that bandwagon, dude.
Okay, wow. Okay.
Well, I think that given the perspective that we saw, I think there's a lot of body language stuff that even Hall of Famer Troy Aikman is starting to notice. I get that he's a rookie. The man is
That was your worst source point. Troy
I don't know
Aikman
how-
barely even touched it.
I don't know how that's my worst source point. Where, I mean, also Twitter has just been bashing on the Bears. Like this was not the day to go on
Oh,
Twitter. if you're a Bears
ESPN
fan.
bashed Twitter is bashing us. Everyone's like having a field
To the
day.
point where there's now conversations of if even Caleb is the guy for Chicago. Like I saw that. I think I sent the
fuck
picture to
that.
you guys
Fuck.
saying
Are you
where the-
talking about Pat McAfee? That was taken out of context, dude. That's
no, but
that
that's
was
literally
bullshit.
how they had the question. Like the question
Yeah,
is
but
like,
they didn't. It wasn't talked about in that method.
well, no, it was the way that it was asked was, where do you see Caleb in the 5 years? Like, where do you see him? And they're like, given what we've seen, he's just gonna be a good quarterback. And I'm like, fuck. Like, we're at the point where it's not even a first season complete. Like, the season's not even over yet. Like, his first season's not even done, and people are just seeing like the regression be this much to the point where it's like, it's not like we're breaking him. Like the Bears are breaking him. So I don't want to beat on the dead horse too much, but just a lot of the play that we saw that's being circled around where he's doing 2 spins and he's jumping to ghosts that haven't hit him yet. He did
come on, dude.
Are you gonna let me finish? Let me finish.
Don't make stupid comments. The guy was right on his ass.
No, he still had
Yes,
space.
he literally was.
Also, if you look at the replay, he could have ran it. So there's still some
Not
things
that
here and
play.
there. Yeah, he could have ran it for a little bit. Not a lot, but he could have.
There was another play that he kind of could have ran it. But the guy was literally on his ass. He was prematurely jumping.
Right.
But he wasn't jumping at ghosts.
He was jumping at ghosts. But I don't even think that's the most hilarious play out of the whole game. But, you know, Caleb is just to sit him. Season's over. Sit him. Save him. Keep him healthy. Let the next coach ruin him.
As much as Chris has said this for probably 3 weeks, I think that he's kind of starting to validate. It's starting to kind of be an actual conversation at this point.
The man already broke the records for most sacks. What more do you want? He's been hit so many times.
For the Bears.
Doesn't matter. It's still a record.
But like, realistically, going back to Caleb, like,
guys, like, okay, hang on. Let's make this O-line. They didn't play the best game, but they get 2 sacks, and he was hurried a lot. I get that, lots of pressure, but 2 sacks. I get the sacks were pretty bad, and we fumbled the ball. I get that, but even by the standards of this season, not the worst game for the O-line. Let's keep it in perspective, right?
Boobin, I'm sorry, you've said that so many times this season, and it's like we can't say that. And then
it is factually accurate. We can say it.
No, this is what I'm saying about stats. It's like we keep bringing up stats as like this definitive thing, but the Bears have not been in any like ever since the 4-2 record. The games that we've lost that were close, everything else has just been bullshit stats. Like no one cares. Like he gets touchdowns, great, dead time, or he gets all these yards, or he gets all these passes. The majority of the good stats that have come out for the Bears has been in dead time.
Giving up 2 sacks to the best sack team out there is not a bad stat.
Boobin, the Vikings could have ripped them apart, and they chose to just play zone in the last quarter. Like you can't say that they were.
I don't
pushing.
think relying on a sack stat is the best way to judge an offensive line.
I okay. What else would you judge him on?
Okay, so Boobin,
pressure rate.
Hold on.
Okay,
hold on.
Wasn't it? I'm saying he was hurried a lot. I didn't.
Hold on. Boobin, didn't we have this argument like last week or the week before? Who did the Bears play? Where you were like, this was one of the top defenses, and the line played great. Remember
Probably
that?
Minnesota.
No, it was someone else. But what I'm saying is you've said this to the point where it's like every team that the Bears have been projected to be dog shit to, the O-line has performed great. The O-line, from what I'm saying, the metric that they're at is already so below the point of progression that it does not matter what they do.
I think the only props that you
can though. That's not
how's
fair.
that not fair?
Like how do you grade them? Like what's
have we had a running game the last 3 weeks?
Yes,
game,
we actually had a decent running. I was going to say that. I think the only props that you can
we
give
had
to
like
the O line
we had 100
is the
yards this
fact that
game.
we actually had a
Right,
good
but in the
running
first
game with
half-
a
said
running
that
back.
at the
First-
beginning of the episode. I said that at the beginning of the episode. We actually had a running game this game. No one fucking listens to me.
No,
but
I did. I just said the first
realistically-
quarter Swift was awful because
There it
he
is.
fell because they didn't provide him with a fullback.
Like
Okay.
that's what I'm trying to say. Like I'm saying from that standpoint.
For
From
one quarter,
from
he was
beginning
bad.
to end. From beginning to end, we are not a consistent football team to use stats to our advantage. Like we're not.
But stats are like valuable, Chris. Like you cannot say.
Boopin.
I'm not saying we are super. Like I'm not saying anything beyond. I'm saying we are bad. I'm saying the O line did not play a horrible game. Is what I'm saying.
We've said this so many times, and it's
It
like
is true. It's factual. I don't know what else to tell you.
but it's
But Boopin, you're just relying on a sack stat.
like,
That's literally you're judging the O line's play on a sack stat. Like if you have pressure rate, if you say hit rate, I know Caleb was moving a lot. I mean, yes, you can say the running game was probably a little bit better because they did more than anybody thought they did. But as far as the passing, which is really the only thing we give a shit about at this point, I don't know if you can judge their performance on pass protection based on sacks.
yeah.
I
I'm
did
at
say
that
it was
point.
hurried a lot when I started this conversation.
No, you
I
did.
said-
I'll give you that. But what I'm saying is like from the run game, you do realize that a portion of the run game was DJ Moore too. Like
Yeah.
like
I think-
it's
I think that
not
was
a
planned.
consistent run game, is what I'm saying.
Like this was the most consistent we've been in the last 5 games, probably. Am I wrong, Miller? Like, I think Caleb was leading us in rushing in the last, I don't know, like 3-4 games.
This is the best running attack that we've had in the last
I
probably
don't-
3 or 4 games.
I don't think that's true. I'll take a gander. at it,
We'll
but,
go
like,
look at Swift stats.
Yeah,
Swift has been a joke.
Swift ran for 79 this game. So what are we saying?
Go look at his stats. He's been under 50 for like the last 2 games.
Under 20, I don't even know. He was not out
Swift
leading
was
rusher.
38 against the 49ers, and then
Caleb was our leading rusher last couple of games. So
Yeah.
again, like I'm not saying fucking crown him, but I'm saying it's not, like they figured something out. Like and they had done that last game too, so it's not like
So Williams was pressured on 40% of his dropbacks.
not great.
It's actually really bad.
Like-
and then sacked twice. The running game average, the running game was decent, 3.9s per carry, but the offensive line committed 5 penalties.
That
Like,
was
3.9
killer.
though is
Like-
kind of you
That's
have to
killer.
take it with a grain of salt just because
No, you don't.
DJ Moore ran for 24.
Still a running game, Chris.
Still
You
they
can't
block.
fucking.
It's still they block. It's the same
Still a
thing.
running game.
I
So I
think
don't
for-
know.
I think for me, when I look at the running game, and maybe that's a good conversation starter too, is like, can you get your running back up to a point where your quarterback can be effective? And in multiple games, I will say I have not seen that to the point that we've been successful.
Like the O line that has not been good. I think we have like criticized them multiple times on the show. Like we have. What I'm saying is some games when I expect them to do dog shit, they show up surprisingly. Because we gave up
Okay.
5 sacks the last game, if I remember correctly. We gave up 5 sacks to fucking like Arizona, and then like 7. Like it was like
But don't you think that the Vikings were like, hey, we don't need to pressure so much because we want Caleb to throw the ball and make mistakes that way? Like you got to
No.
remember the way that
he's
they're
not thrown an interception in like 8
Did you
games.
see all those pressures that they had? They brought a lot of pressure.
You okay? I didn't see it that way. I'll take that, Wheeler. I'll agree with you then if that's what it is. Sure. I just
Okay.
from looking at it, I just don't feel like it's that.
Okay. Let's move past this bullshit.
Okay.
Thomas Brown.
Score prediction. Aww.
We're not moving past this game, bro.
I will
We're just
give
moving
props
past-
to the Bears though. They performed the laziest blocked punt I've ever seen in my life. Blocked it with a helmet and then like a shoulder pad. I don't think
I
I've ever
missed
seen
that. That was fourth quarter.
Yeah. So
Well, that's
that-
the only
that's pretty wild.
touchdown we scored, I think. Or was that a field goal too?
No, it was Keenan Allen because Steve, he won his parlay. He won like $200 in his parlay.
Oh,
It's pretty hilarious. He had Aaron Jones rushing touchdown, rushing yards, and Keenan Allen touchdown.
Wow.
Thomas
So
Brown. I
all in the
think
fourth quarter. Got it. Okay.
yeah. I am not on Chris's boat. I think he's 100% wrong. Thomas Brown has never been a lame duck coach. I think, as much as I hate to say this, I think he deserved this opportunity because we knew what was coming for a new head coach. But I'm also going to state that I think that decision has set this team back, which was a possibility when we originally discussed it. But I am now at the point where I think Thomas Brown being a head coach is a detriment to Caleb Williams.
So let me ask you, you say he's not a lame duck coach, right? Is he coming back next year?
That's not the definition of a lame duck coach.
No.
That's not a definition of a lame duck coach. A lame duck coach is a coach that's there just to be there and he's gone at the end of the year. He wasn't there just to be there. He was there to earn a spot. That's not a definition of a lame duck coach.
Can you answer my question? Is he here next season?
No, he's not.
Lame duck coach. Continue. Next topic.
Well, like I don't know. I don't. It's not normal for him to stay here, but I wouldn't be mad if he's here next year in the offensive coordinator position.
He's not going to be. I don't think he'd be the offensive coordinator. I mean, I guess there
players
are
like him,
reports.
Caleb like him. I don't know. There is like, I don't know, 3% chance, 5%.
You know
You
what?
guys Chris just totally just wiped off my whole fucking question to you guys for his stupid ass lame duck comment. Do you guys think like it's a big deal? Like, to me, this is like a really big deal. Like, Caleb was playing at a pretty good level on the 3 games where he was offensive coordinator. They fired Eberflus. Thomas Brown is now the head coach, and Caleb has looked like shit in back-to-back games.
Yep. Don't want to give Chris credit, but I probably should. He did say, will this bring Caleb's game back? And we were like, should not change, right? Same system. He probably gets a bigger say. Caleb, something is different. Like something, he's not playing as freely as he did those couple of
But
games.
I mean, at the end of the day, like, Thomas Brown can't focus on just the offense. He's got to be a head coach.
Chris said this, and
I literally
like,
called it, and
Yeah,
you guys were the ones that were like, "No, he can do it." I think Mike Greenberg on ESPN. Mike Greenberg on ESPN basically said a line, and I'm gonna try to say it not per word. Essentially, is like, you guys brought up a coach that had some success in 3 weeks, not great success, some success in 3 weeks, and you decide to make him your head coach, and it's like the Bears are just throwing him into the pack of wolves, not preparing him. So, but this goes back to what I was saying before. Who else would have been the pick? Like,
no, you could have went Eric Washington, the defensive coordinator, or the special team coach. Special team coach was the one that originally was chosen to possibly take the role. But as much as I like listening to the talking heads on ESPN, it's just like they're not in it every day. Like, they're not 670 the score that comes up with the good shit. But it's like, if you look at the entire organization and you specifically look at Thomas Brown and how much props he's got from around the league, from the coaches like Sean McVay that have called him a future head coach, it wasn't that bad of a move. But as I mentioned, we talked about it a few weeks ago, this was something that could happen. He could go from being focused entirely on Caleb to being focused on, as a head coach, which means disaster. And that's kind of what we're staring at right now.
Like the
so
49ers
you know what?
the 49ers game, they like exposed us. They went to like that old school 49ers. Here's our skill players. We're gonna fucking bunch them. Like, and then they like outmatch us. Like, I don't know. That was the first time I was like, oh shit, we're not.
You know what it is too, is that I agree with Miller. The team just has no identity. And we can say that Caleb is the franchise, Caleb is this, Caleb is that. A team can't just be one player. Like, it can't just be Caleb.
I mean,
like, we need to have a good
Allen
defense.
has done that. Josh Allen's done that.
No, but Josh Allen is running a great offense. You can't just say it's just Josh Allen. Like, I'm sorry, you can't.
I mean, literally, it's just Josh Allen.
No,
the defense has given up 40 and 42 points the last
Boopin,
games. But
But I mean, the running game has been a significant portion of that as well.
Not only that,
you don't get
Diggs
to say
is
that.
gone.
You of all people don't get
No,
to
hold
say
on,
that.
hold on. Diggs is gone, and they're still able to perform.
They don't.
Like-
They don't have. That's what I'm saying. They don't have a superstar wide receiver. That's why it's all Josh Allen.
No, it's the play calling. It's how they use the offense. Like, why do we say that for him and not say this for Caleb? That's always been my like the wonders that I've seen before. Like, yeah, I can shit on Caleb multiple times about little nitpicks here and there, but we'd never had an O-line that can protect him to the point where he's using his weapons. Now, when he does make certain throws and we go, well, he should have hit that. We've done that a lot more than you can say about any other team. But if you look at a lot of the news that's happening out there, the Bears just have no identity. The Eagles are going through shit, and then they fucking have a great game. Buffalo comes out and they win a dogfight of a game against a great team. The Steelers do Steelers things, and then you have Kansas City, who we don't know what's going to end up happening with them because of the injuries that are happening with them. So, like the Bears are just the Bears. Like there is no we're a great defense that's gone. Our special teams is great. That's gone. Our offense is decent. That's gone. Like we just have zero identity. If we were a hard-hitting defensive team, I could sit here and be like, let Caleb throw 10 interceptions because our defense will at least keep us in the game. We don't have that.
Technically, our defense was keeping us in the game until Eberflus got fired.
Exactly. And so now it goes back to the point of we might as well have just kept Eberflus because we could have done something with defense.
You can't go back. Come on, that's not.
No, that's not horrible.
No, but this is what I'm saying from an identity
honestly,
perspective.
No.
I'm at the point.
The way we were losing games, guys. Like, I know our defense looks way worse after Eberflus, but Jesus Christ! Like,
but Boopin, we were losing games in the last seconds. We've gotten blown out in back-to-back games when Eberflus hasn't been here. I'm just saying, if your sole focus, this is on polls and Kevin Warren, whoever we want to blame it on. This is on him. This was their decision to get rid of Eberflus, and it is literally backfired at this point. The team has gotten worse since he was gone. Yes, he deserved to be fired. He deserved to be fired at some point and separate. But doing it now has been a detriment to Caleb, and it's been a detriment to this team. You can't argue against it. We went from losing one-score games in stupid fashion to getting blown out in back-to-back games and basically embarrassed to a point.
We were making jokes about how the Bears seem to be doing really good in the second half. And it's like, well, let's just tell the team, hey, we don't have a first half anymore because we've been dog shit the first half, but we seem to have good second halves. That's gone. Like, it's not to a point where you can sit here and we can try to find positives and turn it into a positive. Like, I know I meme a lot and I troll a lot. There's nothing positive about this Bears team. There really isn't. Like, I'm done using Caleb as a scapegoat, and I'm done using Caleb as this superhero type of person that's going to get us to some spot. Like, that's why I don't like that he hasn't thrown an interception. At least fucking Kirk Cousins went out ablazing in interceptions, but like he didn't give up. And so, like, my thing is, this team probably could have lasted a little bit more with Flus. Still blamed him. Still would have been gone. But now, because of what we've been doing the last couple of weeks, guess what? The GM is in a hot seat. So it's like, it's just a snowball effect.
It's just like I don't know. Like, you can't have your cake and eat it too. You can't get rid of the coach and then just like fucking like, oh, he's gone. We were better when he was here.
But this was a conversation. This was a conversation that happened. You're giving Thomas Brown the keys to a car, and he doesn't have any experience. He's barely been good in his position.
Yeah, we don't know.
So it's like you knew this was a possibility, and guess what? It has blown up in their faces because of every aspect of this team has taken a step back. Agreed. Every aspect.
Boobin, and just to give you a timeline, remember, it was the Hail Mary, right? And then it was that Flus lost the team. And then it was the players going against Flus. You fire Flus. That's a timeline of when Flus is gone. As soon as we fired Flus, what did everyone say? Well, there's going to be a change of voice. The players are going to perform better now. It's going to be different. Instead of the boat, or instead of the line graph going like slightly higher of performance, it's been going down. Flus gets fired, and it's like a steep downhill turn now.
Okay, so question. What does that say about this organization?
Start over. Pulse is gone.
That's fair. I'm
Start
kind of
over.
almost. I'm not. I don't think it'll happen. So my stance on this is after I've listened to you, because sometimes you have valid points. After I listen to Ben, I think I'm at the point where I kind of want Poles to be gone, but I also take the view of the organizational Bears thought, and I don't think he will be gone. I think he's deserving to be gone at this point, but I think they're going to keep him.
My decision on how to answer this question, I will always come back to the press conference. The press conference for me was it. It was a defeated man, and it wasn't Poles leading the charge on that. It was someone else. And so when you are at a point where you just, I'm not going to say Poles doesn't care. I think every GM in the NFL cares because they want to have the next job or they want to be able to do something, in the next turn. Every time the Bears have lost or have done or something bad has happened this season, everything that they've done on polls, his draft picks, what he called his not workarounds, his projects or something like that, everything gets called to question now. And guess what? Because we're losing, everyone's going to say, well, why are we doing that? Like even Ben today, and I hate to put Ben on this, he pointed that we did draft 2 pointers in the draft. So it's like you see that and you're like, nah, oh shit, we did.
Oh, first off, I want to continue on the Ben Love. He pointed out multiple times yesterday, Kieran Amagaji, 3rd round project. And he's looked like god awful shit as a project. I mean, I understand that he's a project, but he's a 3rd round pick. You have Velus Jones, and then Zach Pickens as well was picked way above his draft grade. And how has that turned out? So, like,
that, you can keep going
those are the
back.
2 picks where you're talking about these projects in positions where they need to make a point. So, Boopin, where do you consider this organization to be with everything?
And I have one more, but I'll let Boopin go.
No, like, has he hit on like 100%? No. Has he hit like 50%? Somewhere around there, right? Between free agent and draft class. Miller did point out with examples that later round picks and some of these projects have looked really bad, like Claypool, Velus Jones, like a couple of old linemen he picked, Nate Davis, like they have like been dog shit for us. Totally agree, totally valid. The only reason I think I am somewhat like keep the guy, which will like make no sense because he'll probably be gone next year anyway. Is like we cannot be a winning organization if we just are like it's a cycle, right? We talked about this. Like every 3 years, there's a GM that comes in, has a quarterback that he didn't fucking inherit, brings in a coach. They are together for a couple of reasons. We reset. We've done this 3 times in the last fucking 5-7 years, right? And I don't think that's how you build a good culture. Is Pulse a perfect guy? No. Does he care? Yes. Like, how do we have Caleb, who we like marginally agree is a foundational piece. Like, and how do we get their Pulse? Like, fucking, he's done some good things. Like, give him a little bit of a, and like, not that he probably 100% deserves it. Give him a little bit of breath, and
He
then
got
like hold it.
lucky though.
I it's part of it, right? Like, I can say he got unlucky with some of these
Like
picks.
you can give him credit for DJ Moore, but like at the
I
end
don't
of
want
the
to
day,
defend the guy, but you guys are so anti him that
No,
I
no,
end
no,
up
no,
it's
no, no.
really bad.
No. Hold
like,
on. We
but like,
gotta calm down with the
we
anti him.
no, like if we need to ship him, fuck it, do it. I am worried that doing this 3rd time in like fucking 4 seasons, like 7 seasons, whatever seasons it is, like this will we know what like I don't want that to be the outcome that happened to Fields and Mitch. Some people
Ye-
here loved Mitch, some people here loved Fields. I don't want Caleb to be that guy again. And if we keep getting the coach one season, GM the other season, that's what's gonna come to like
But
Caleb.
Boopin, here's the part that you're missing. It's already like that. Like it's not that it's not
So we
becoming that.
can stop it. Let's not
No,
fire him.
here's it's not about him being fired at this point. Like for me, it's just when I saw that press conference and I said like that's a defeated man that's like standing up there, and it's not even him taking the bulk of the questions. It's Warren speaking and saying like this guy is the head of operations for football or whatever it was. You can sit there and you can be like, the body language of him is just like he doesn't want to be there.
I mean, like it was
If
a
he
tough
decides to
training process.
leave, because it's like, you know what?
He's not leaving, dude. Get your fucking Twitter fucking
If
sources
he-
better.
listen.
He's not leaving. No GM is going to leave a GM role. It's just not going to happen. Just move on.
I
Just
wouldn't be
continue your
surprised.
thought.
No, I wouldn't be surprised.
Come on, dude.
If that's the case, he's not getting fired. Let's not act like he's not getting fired. He's got himself one more season. That's all.
But you can't do that because
Yes, you
Boopin is right.
But
You cannot do that.
already
You
done
can't do the 1 year thing.
Then
You
do what
can't
the
say
Jets
you get
do.
another year to do
You do
this.
what the Jets
because,
do.
You know what? Because then you turn into the Jets. Boopin does have
Wait,
a
wait,
valid
wait,
point
No.
when talking
wait.
about
You do
those
what the
things.
Jets do then, and you fire him before the
When was
season's
the
over.
last time Jets made a playoff?
When was the what?
Jets have not made a playoff in a historic amount of time. I think that's the team.
I mean,
With
I get
they
that,
have
but like
they're an
they've gone up
example
against the
of like
Patriots, so.
I know they're an example of like what not to do with the team.
But so in my opinion, it's the Bears. So the Bears are going to Bears. So there's very well a possibility that they fire him next year. But you can't do that, man. You can't go out and have this head coaching search this year. Find your guy. Let polls find that guy and then turn around 1 year later and fire him. You can't do that. Like that is like the absolute. So you either you pair them together because he'll be paired with Caleb. So if they don't fire him this offseason, in my opinion, Poles needs to state for good or for bad 3 years minimum. Minimum.
Also, if you bring up the Jets, the only reason why I'm bringing them up is because what I had stated a couple weeks ago too is where you get first dibs since you don't have a GM and you don't have a head coach. You get like first dibs to start early on the search. Like that's apparently a rule that I wasn't aware of. If
well, like
you really
they can't still interview, right?
they're interviewing now. There's already been
You
confirmed
can
interviews.
you can interview the people that aren't on teams, I believe.
Okay.
I don't think you can interview people that are
Yeah,
on
don't
teams.
quote me, but I know that they've had interviews. Like it's been reported that there's been interviews out there.
Maybe bye weeks and shit like that. I don't know.
But either way, like I know that
But
that
no one's
they've been
getting
doing it.
hired till the end of season. If
You
I
don't
don't
know
think-
that. You can still hire within. Like it's
How-
not. You can. It's
If you're
they
on a
literally
team?
have nothing. They literally have nothing.
You
But
you can't have interviews with somebody that's
Yeah.
on a team
Like a
right
Doug-
now.
so
I
like
like this guy.
no, but like let's
Well,
say
let me
like
get to my point. You cut me
Okay.
off during my point. What I was
Sorry,
saying
Jets.
is, you're
Yes.
when you're talking about the Jets, the Jets have missed more on their picks than anything else when it comes to
That's-
draft.
they
They haven't
had a
really
rookie,
until
they had the
hold
rookie
on.
of the year, both offense and defense last year.
Yeah, but what happened this year? Like last year, they also had a quarterback that didn't show up. Like last year, he got injured. You could have said that last year.
Who was
could
the
have been a great-
offense of the year?
Brees
That
Hall
they-
and Brees
Brees
Hall
Hall
and
wasn't rookie of the year
he
Oh,
was.
last year.
I don't think he was a rookie
Wasn't.
last year. Wasn't he a rookie before?
Who won? I think that's
Well, that's irrelevant. What I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is, if you're going to try to build a team, and you're going to try to build it in a way that makes the most sense, is you either get rid of them now, and you go clean slate. You already have a quarterback. You're going to have a high draft pick. You want to have a different vision. Does Poles have what it takes to build from that standpoint? I don't know anymore. Like that's my difference. That's my take. I don't know.
No, Miller.
So you're thinking of 2022, Garrett Wilson.
Okay, Garrett Wilson and Sauce Gardner.
So you're talking 2022, not last
Okay.
year. Okay.
There you go.
But like
So-
they had offensive they had an amazing draft class, and
Right.
then they fucking give the money to Rodgers, and now they're dog shit again.
No. That's not even the case, because if that's the case, they wouldn't have been able to make the moves. Like you can't tell me that the Jets were not trying to do everything that they can to
Okay,
win.
we spent way too
to-
long on Atlanta.
to
Now
get
we're
on-
talking
on
way too long
Devontae.
on the Jets.
But Chris said that's what he wants to do, and literally the last quarterback they had of value was what the fuck was his name? Mr. Jet. That's the only quarterback there of value since 1960s, I think.
You
Okay,
don't-
so
show
let's
some love
discuss
from-
this.
show
Let's
some
discuss
love for
this.
Sanchez. How fucking
Let's
dare you.
discuss
Oh,
the
come on.
Judah. Let's
The butt
discuss the
fumble.
Judah information. He is a Bajan man. I don't think I can go there at this point. We've
Okay.
seen Bajan play.
Judah,
He's
Judah.
been decent, but he hasn't shown anything that goes above and beyond. And while I will admit that I would believe that Bajent would probably be better than Caleb at this point, I don't think it's a long-term answer because he does, at the end of the day, have limitations.
Okay, let's say we put Pageant out there and he like goes 3-0. Like, where does that leave Bears? Are they better off or worse off than where we are? There's no win in putting
It's going to be
Pageant
the
the rest
same.
of
You
the
know
year.
why? Because Bajent played in the same, like he played last year. Like he has experience under his belt. Like you can't say.
You saw Hard Knocks. That man is angling to get out of here.
Yeah.
If you,
So if anything, you let him play, let him be great, and use him for trade bait. What do you mean?
Yeah, I mean, that's where I'm at.
I think the value of getting a trade bait for him, I would say Caleb getting 3 NFL games underneath him in division, or like at least 2 in division, is worth more than like doing that.
Why though? Why? Please tell me, like, why?
Because you will play Lions.
The man's been
and
hit
Packers
so many
again.
times. The man's been
I
hit
get
so
it.
many
I get it.
times.
I get it.
Like-
I get it. It's like dangerous with this own line.
So realistically, though, he hasn't been hit that hard. This was like the first game where he's gotten hit really, really hard.
I think it's Brian Flores, the coaching system. They are like that fucking.
For what?
Hold on, we're still talking about the Bears. This is gone.
We should be done. We should be done.
We should be at some point, but just my way of seeing it.
I would love to know Judah's response on why he's so much better than them, because I don't know that he's proven that he is that much head and heels above them.
I feel like Judah and I are like the same brain sometimes. And
do we know Judah, or is he a YouTube just?
It's just all right. Let's continue on. I think Miller. That's a great question. I think we're gonna talk about it more. We'll see when the season ends.
Wait. Flowers to me first. I got closest to the prediction. Fuck all of y'all. Positivity rating.
I'm still at a 0.
4. Miller, you read us 4 last week.
Come on down, buddy.
2.
We're almost there.
Okay, Miller, I'll let you handle the recap because you do a really good job.
See, I'm not the only one that.
The recap? The recap of what?
Sorry. The Lions preview.
I'm not doing Lions preview. The Lions are really good. We're really bad. The only caveat that we have is they're going to play 13 out of 16 games in domes, so majority of their schedule has been inside. Jared Goff is a different quarterback, and that offense is a different offense outdoors, so that could come to our advantage. We'll see.
And the greatest running back in fucking history, Monty, is out, so that's our advantage.
We're going to talk about that during fantasy because
I don't know. We might have a shot. What do we think? Do we think the Bears have a shot?
Fuck no. They just got the Lions lost to the Bills in the heartbreaker. They're gonna come back and they're gonna prove a point that they're the best team.
They're gonna score 50 on us.
They're gonna score 50. Yeah.
The line is 7.5. Lions are favored by 7.5 away, so that's like 10.5.
Yeah.
And the over/under is 47.5. Should we get some score predictions going?
I have such a hard time fucking dealing with giving this team props. I'm going to say 21-17 Lions.
And that's too close for me. I was going to go 28-10.
Lions?
Yeah.
Chris, you and I are closer. I said 28-21 Lions.
I don't know why we keep trying to do these one-score predictions with the Bears. Every time we try to do one scores, it's just been blowouts. So that's why I'm like trying to keep it.
I'm just going to continue to be optimistic.
Okay. Well, there you have it.
Optimistic.
That being said, we are.
Hey, Judah, you're just using the wrong brand, brother. That's what it is. Caleb's fingernail polish doesn't crack, so you're using the wrong one.
He uses the no crack shit. He got some premium shit.
You got to get off that Walmart or Walgreens brand.
He still hasn't defended why Bajent's actually better than them. Because realistically, his NFL experience did not show that he was better than either of them. Like he ran the offense better, but his arm limitations were fairly obvious. He does not have a very good arm. Let's be real here.
I love that Judah is just coming into the stream and dropping bombs on us like this. It's awesome.
But we have to talk fantasy. We have to talk about we'll get there. Kyler, I don't know who they're playing, but I would lean Kyler pretty heavily in that situation, especially because Tua.
I think Kyler's playing Carolina.
And it's a PPR league, so I would probably lean Kyler.
And
Well, that doesn't have anything to do with the fucking quarterback,
Quarterback.
but sure.
Well, I think he throws more than Tua does, doesn't he?
Doesn't have anything to do with
but,
the
like,
quarterback.
what does the PPR have to do with the quarterback?
More
I don't.
attempts.
Who's Tua
What do you
playing?
mean?
Attempts mean jack shit to
Point per reception, not point per attempt, bro.
No, but like he throws.
No,
a lot,
just stop
so
talking. Just stop talking.
He
Okay.
throws. A lot.
Who's Miami playing? I don't know the fucking.
Miami is playing. Drum roll, please. The fuck? 49ers, maybe?
No.
Yeah. Yep. I was right. 49ers.
Oh, Miami's playing this 49ers?
Yeah, I think, but they are home.
Ooh, I don't know, man. Carolina's so run. You can run on them. I would probably lean Kyler just because of his running floor. If you're talking fantasy playoffs, because Carolina is beatable, especially if Arizona's at home. It is possible.
49ers defense is like coming back. I'm not saying it's great, but it's coming back. That's a. I would probably lean Tua too. Kyler has not been predictable this season, I think.
I would
Okay.
stay with
Playoff time.
Okay.
Playoff
Okay. Those
time,
are all
people.
great reasons why Bajan is going to be a
I'm not
quarterback.
showing
of this
him,
league.
but I'm having a good time here. Like,
Okay.
Because he's 2-2, even though he really didn't do much. I mean, I was definitely on the Bajan versus Fields aspect. We talked about it back in the day. Like, I thought he deserved some time. He got some. He definitely showed his weaknesses when he was in on those performances. Let's be real. And as much as I would want Bajan to have a real NFL career, I don't know that it's going to happen. But I do agree with Chris in the sense that I want to flip him for a pick because I think that there could be enough for us to get something for him because he has shown glimpses. I'm not going to sit here and rip Caleb because Caleb's done things this year that Bajan will never dream of. Let's be real.
I agree, and also I think we go back to we're gonna go back to the 4-2. If that Hail Mary turns different, and in that Lions game they know how to manage a clock, the Bears would have 6 wins under their belt. So it's not all on as much as I would love to keep the troll going with Caleb. It's not all on him as much as I want to.
That's all it took, Miller. Yeah, Miller, you and I have to
waiting
go.
for that
Yeah,
for 14 weeks.
Wow. Okay, playoff time, people. Chris and I had a bye, so we were in the second round. Miller, did you make it? Did you make it to the second round?
We don't want to talk
Bajan
about a
does
lot of
paint his
things.
nails as well. It's been confirmed. So I don't know why would people get so strung on that, and it's not.
And where's mascara?
Yeah. So
Who does?
Even though his dad arm wrestles for a living. It was a rough weekend for me. It was a rough weekend. Let's be real. I lost in Boopin's league, so Boopin has a clear path to victory. Luckily for him. But in my other real league, we were in the semifinals because they start early, like idiots. And I'm going to preface it with this. Our matchup, non-PPR, a 14-team league, we put up 320 points collectively. The other semifinal put up 160. Yes, that happened. It was 170 to 159. That was the score. So it was very much disheartening that we lost that game, but it happens. It's fantasy. Guess what, guys? The goal of fantasy is to make the playoffs. Once the playoffs start, anything can happen. I did advance in my first place league, so I will be going on to the semifinals. Unfortunately, the guy that butt fucked me last week is probably going to butt fuck me again this week because I'm going against Josh Allen. So we'll see how it goes.
I love that.
that's tough.
I made playoffs in 3 leagues. I'm in the semifinals in 2 different ones. The third one didn't make it. How about you, Chris?
So I'm dealing with having to do a lot of moves. Montgomery is now gone. I can't do much about that. So we're going to be moving in White in his position.
That's decent.
Are you running
had
both Tampa Bay?
No, I'm probably gonna have Kincaid back in. I am trying to make one move. I did put in a claim for McCormick.
Yeah,
Um,
that's solid. He,
and
But
he was in
so
the he was hurt
yeah,
though this week though, right?
yeah.
yeah, he got hurt too. But
Um,
there's actually some decent pickups, Chris. We can, I don't know, waivers probably tonight. We can talk about it.
yeah.
Tajay
Judah, we
Spears.
can hit some more of these points. Oh, well, appreciate it. We were going to talk a little bit more, but we normally hit the fantasy aspect of this, and then we kind of go on a little tangent towards the end of the episode. But thank you for stopping by. Also, again, shout out to you for the content that you just gave us. It's been fantastic. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to play Worthy for the flex since they have Houston. And
Yeah,
do you guys remember how you guys were criticizing me, and I was like,
Okay, but Chris, keep in mind if Mahomes doesn't play, you shouldn't play Worthy.
mm,
yeah.
I mean, you
I don't think Carson Wentz is the same. But
if that's the
this
case, then I can put Gray in as a flex because I guess the
this
tight
is
end would be a
this
good
is
fit.
Chris's
But
fantasy corner because it's not
Okay,
Dallas.
you shouldn't play either of them if Mahomes isn't playing. So you should
um,
be looking for another option.
well, the way that I've seen it, and you guys remember when I even said like I want to switch my defenses around and just play defenses that play the Browns. Well, even though I didn't have a game, Kansas City was a team that played against the Browns and they had 22 points. So that's still also something to consider because I found out my matchup and I think I'm not gonna make it because the team that I'm playing is Gibbs, Lamb, Kittle, and Collins are on his team,
Jesus. Okay. That's a pretty
and
stacked
You-
team.
also the running back from Miami is in there as well.
Oh fuck, Achan?
Yeah,
Okay.
Who is
Chris.
this guy and how did he not get a buy?
because we were in the same division and I had a better record.
Oh wow.
Fuck.
Chris, if you need running back, Jerome Ford, Kendre Miller, and
But see, I don't
Tajay.
know if I need a running back because if I do, then I just need to bench White and then try to find another combination that'll work.
But what I'm telling you is there's two at least decent pickups out there. Kendre
I wouldn't
Miller
know who to
and
drop then. Like I would have
I
to
don't
drop.
know.
okay, we'll talk offline. People are
Yeah.
already sleeping on this episode, but there's definitely pickups out there. So don't like play the waiver wires. You'll probably be okay. Couple other tips. You know, like I was saying, play matchups. Higher scoring plays would be the decider. If a team's like projected to have a higher score, if you have a player going in that should be the decider. I think. Stay the course, right? What's gotten you here will get you to the promised land. So like, don't make like sudden moves. Like don't be cute. Don't put in like players that have with a higher upside but lower floors. Don't do that. Um, you know, stay the course. Last week was rough. Hopefully this week is closer to normal. But this is fantasy playoffs. Nothing can happen. Everything can happen. You could be the underdog like Chris, but you don't know. Anything can happen in the fantasy playoffs.
I agree with that.
A couple of big injuries, just so you guys can keep in mind. Patrick Mahomes, he will likely try and push, but he has a high ankle sprain.
I can't see him playing. I really can't.
They still have playing for the number one bye, aren't they?
Yeah.
Still, they're 13-1.
I mean,
I mean,
Carson Wentz will drop
is
off.
one win is going to get him comfortably in, but they have that weird
He's
schedule
got a
where they're
high
playing.
ankle sprain. Like,
He
Well-
played through that during the last Super Bowl.
No, but see, this is different because
This
they have
is
3
Super
games
Bowl.
in the span of X amount of days, like between each one. So it's going to be tough either way.
Geno Smith got hurt. Lord knows what's happening there. I was telling Chris, in terms of running back, Kamara is out likely. He just got paid. Saints have nothing to play for. Tony Pollard left the game. Nick Chubb is probably broke a foot, so he's probably out. Some wide receivers to look out for. AJ Brown has again high ankle injury, and Jalen Waddle also left.
AJ Brown?
He said he'll play, but he was hurt last game.
Fuck.
Zach Ertz is in concussion protocol, likely won't play this week. Those are the big
McCormick's
ones.
doubtful, Chris, so don't pick him up.
Okay.
But yeah, those are the big ones. Again, stay the course, play the matchups. You guys will be okay.
And remember, anything can happen in the playoffs. I almost lost to an 8th seed.
Yeah, some people are not alive anymore after all talking all shit all season. So fantasy playoffs is interesting.
Still alive, baby.
All right.
Still the
Chris,
champ until the champion has been crowned.
I don't think you have the trophy, so it doesn't matter.
No one has the trophy. It's in some garage somewhere in the fucking middle of nowhere.
I will say,
if I win, Chris, if I win Miller, I'll let you have the trophy for like 6 months. Okay.
Yeah, because you think you're getting the trophy. That's funny.
so it's funny that I got the bye because our buddy John is also in that league, and I'm playing the guy that beat him.
Oh, he beat John.
Yeah.
Fuck.
So it would have
Poor
been me and
John. He
John.
always sucks at the playoffs.
But you know what? You know what's funny is, given his team, I was more worried about John than I was about the guy that I'm facing. Because you know how sometimes weeks can give you good starts, bad starts. John had Barkley, and he only had 9 points, and Ridley only had 9. So like, it's just a bad week. So I'm hoping that if I have a solid performance, I might get the points that I need. I'm thinking I need 135 to win.
What are you projected?
120.
Okay.
So I need to overperform a lot.
It's a crapshoot, dude, man.
Yeah.
Cooper Cup got 0 points last week. You're just don't fucking worry about that shit. Just play your best
like I said,
team.
I'm just gonna try to field the best team out there and have a good time.
There you go. All right, we guys ready? I think that's it. We're calling it.
Yeah, Boopin, send us home, buddy.
All right, people. Thank you for sticking with us. Thank you for suffering in the misery together. We hope we brought some positivity today. It was hard. It was a tough episode. It was a trio of negativity, but this is what we're here for. This is cathartic. This is your therapist couch. You know, we process your emotions here. As always, thank you for listening. Thank you for staying. Thank you for subscribing on YouTube. We will keep coming back for more. Hope you will too. Have a good night. Bye-bye.
And that's the end of the podcast episode. I want to give a shout out to everyone that was in the chat. We actually had the most consistent high view count on this episode that I've seen before, so I'm very happy for that.
Who the
Shout out
fuck
to
is
Judah.
Very
The random person that came into the stream, so I'm very happy to see that. So shout out to you guys. Great episode. We're gonna end the live stream here. Next week we will probably be doing a shorter stream with a shorter team because it is Christmas Eve and someone decides to have a good time and travel and not worry about the podcast. So,
oh shit. Oh yeah, I'll be back. Sorry.
Yeah, see, this is why we do these things. But thank you guys so much for joining. We'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Adios.
Congrats, guys. We had a random person